Hey y'all, this is Dosha with DoshaDreamsTarot, and this is a reading for the sign of Gemini. This is for Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus signs, or wherever you have Gemini in your chart. Please keep in mind it is a general reading, so it may or may not resonate with you. So just take what does, leave the rest for someone else. You know the drill. Cross watchers, you are welcome here, but you can't get mad if I expose you for bad behavior or if I talk shit about you. That is just the way that it goes, okay? This is Gemini's reading, so you come second. If not last. I'm just kidding. Cross watchers have all kinds of different intentions, so you know I'm not here to be really rude to you guys, but you know, just saying, this is Gemini's reading. Also want to say that gender is fluid, so please keep that in mind. It's not set in stone. These aren't gender specific readings. I do use gender neutral language as much as possible when describing the cards on the table or the energies that are coming through, just to make my readings more accessible, and then that way y'all can place yourself where you fit. Also, if any strong energy does come through where I feel like it is pretty specific and that helps and is relevant to the reading, then I will call it like I see it. Basically, I have to just read the energy like it comes through, right? So anyway, with that being said, I do hope that you'll like, share, comment, or subscribe before you leave here today to support me and my channel. It is a quick, easy, and free way to help the channel grow. It gets my message further, which is the whole point of all this, right? Even if my message just makes it to one person and it was the right person, that means more to me, honestly, than, you know what I mean, all of the views and it not resonating with anybody, right? But the further it gets, the more likely it's going to get to the people who need it, right? And there are patterns to humanity, right? So there could be multiple people who benefit from the same message, you know, or there could be a part of the message resonates and part of it is for someone else, right? So that's why I kind of give that disclaimer at the beginning so that you can kind of, you know what I mean? It's like gold panning, right? You're trying to find the gold and what is gold for you, right? So anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and let's go ahead and get into the reading. Thank you so much, Spirit, for your divine messages and guidance. We are deeply grateful. We know we couldn't do this without you. Would you please help guide Gemini for their highest good, Spirit? Wow. And protect us and bless us as we move forward into this reading. Okay. Interesting energy that's coming out right away here. Woo. So I got a little lightheaded for a second there. So the first thing that I'm getting here is that you may be hesitating on moving towards something because you feel like you don't have all the answers yet, that you are you're kind of holding back and waiting here. You could be like consulting with your spirit guides, you know, consulting with yourself, right? Taking a moment, but you're kind of looking at something and you're like, it's almost like, is this what I think it is, or is this something that I want to invest in or move towards? I can see this as a contemplative kind of time for you. And for whatever reason, like I said, you're looking at something and honestly it looks pretty good from here, but you may be kind of hesitating moving towards it, and it could be caution. You know, a caution is not a bad thing, certainly not. And I think that taking the time to figure out how you feel before you make decisions is not a bad thing. Like, you know what I mean? All these are good, but unfortunately sometimes when we have had bad past experiences, we can have, you know, hesitance and we can have fear, and fear can hold us back from, you know, pursuing the things that we are excited about, or the things that we feel, you know, drawn to, right? So we have our initial instinct, and then we have, you know what I mean, our contemplation, right? So this is what I'm kind of getting for you, because we have the Ten of Cups coming out, Gemini. I mean, you know, the Ten of Cups is hard to argue with, okay? This could be either something you're looking at, like I said, that's a possible option, or it could just be a concept, like a conceptual kind of like thing that you want. But you've got the Fool card coming out in reverse next, okay? And the Hanged Man, right? So I'm really getting that that this is really talking about hesitation and contemplation, okay? That's what I'm getting. So let's go ahead and go a little bit deeper, see if any other messages want to come out. Yeah, I think you're trying not to. What I'm getting is you may be trying to prevent yourself from rushing into something because you want to it's almost like you are trying to refrain from repeating past mistakes, okay? So can we clarify why the Ten of Cups is here, Spirit? Why is the Ten of Cups here? Whoa. Six of Swords in reverse, okay? Interesting. Okay. Any other cards for the Ten of Cups in reverse? Anything else? Okay. Whoa, okay. I'm going to say I saw the Five of Coins in reverse there. Oh, wow. Oh, well, that's pretty crazy. Interesting. Okay, so somebody here may be operating kind of out of their lower vibe, like their lower self. And you know, we have our higher self, we also have our lower self, right? Just like we have our, you know, our, I don't want to say our enlightened side or whatever, because it's just, you know, whatever. But I mean, we definitely do have our shadow, right? Or we have, you know, sometimes things happen and then it triggers within us these kind of lower carnal instincts of like fear or self-preservation, and we can do things that are, you know what I mean, are harmful to others or even harmful to ourselves when we're in those states of mind. So that's really what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that somebody is less evolved or that somebody is, you know what I mean, someone in this situation is a bad person, like whatsoever. Like what I'm really saying is that somebody here is feeling a certain kind of way, all right, and it's causing them to be, I think, in my opinion, very cold and cautious, right? So it could be you or it could be someone else. This is air energy though coming through, so this is really interesting to me. Somebody may be coming forward with some type of message or apology, and the other person may be like not responding to it. The Six of Swords in reverse is telling me though that this is something that you haven't moved on from yet, or someone hasn't moved on from it. Okay, it could be you or the other party, right? I'm getting the feeling that this is some type of romantic connection, okay? It doesn't have to be, but I'm getting it is with the Ten of Cups here, because you've got the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords coming out together, but the Queen of Swords is in reverse, okay? So somebody here is either being really cold and I almost just said cold and calculated, but I'm getting calculated as in, like I said, it could be your energy, Gemini. You'll know who it is in this scenario. You'll know if this is you or not, because with this hesitance and contemplation, I feel like that's coming through as the Queen of Swords in reverse. Like that's the energy here. But you're not moving on, but you're not quite cutting it off. Does that make sense? But this seems to me like a counterpart type energy with this King of Swords, and you've also, like I said, got the Page of Cups coming out. So it's almost like a message coming through and you're not responding to it right away. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like you blocked the message and you're not receiving it. Like, I feel like, you know what I mean? There's some type of extension of love going on here. You know what I mean? Somebody kind of operating out of their compassion, out of their love for you, potentially you. Like I said, we'll look into it, but that's kind of what I'm getting here, is that it's somebody else. And you're kind of coming from this place of like hesitance and caution and concern. And, you know, like I said, that's not always a bad thing, but we can get stuck there, and then that's when it becomes unhealthy or toxic, right? Like, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Yeah, that's really what I'm getting here with the Hangman. So let's go ahead and clarify and get a little bit deeper. Can we clarify the Fool card in reverse, Spirit? Why is the Fool card here in reverse? Why is the Fool card here in reverse? Okay. Interesting. I'm not going to take all these, but yeah, we've got the Knight of Cups, or excuse me, the Knight of Coins, the Sun card in reverse, the Hermit card in reverse are the ones that I saw in that stack. So I'm almost getting that you're hesitating because you're not happy. Oh, the Knight of Pentacles came out again. Interesting. You want to make sure it's stable, right? You're trying to be consistent. I think that's part of it too, is you want to be stable and consistent. You want to be patient and take things slowly here. Hermit card in reverse at the bottom of the deck coming out. So that's Virgo energy. But I'm also getting that you just don't want to move quickly here. And you are, with the Hermit card in reverse, the energy I'm getting is that you have, like with the Hangman here, this is about going within and looking for the answer, okay? And I think what Spirit is trying to say with this coming out in the reverse is it's almost like you don't want to spend too long in contemplation here. First off, because it's just not good for you, right? I'm not even going to say, like, because this person deserves an answer, yada, yada. Like, you'll know where you fit and if that's the truth or not. And if that's the truth, then I mean, of course, give that person an answer, but, I'm more so thinking that it's like Spirit is kind of like, you don't need to necessarily do a deep dive about this. You could just communicate your hesitance, right? You could also communicate that you want something stable and long term, or that you want to take things slow. You can communicate that. That's okay. You know what I mean? You don't have to give a yes or no, a definitive yes or no. Like, life isn't black and white, right? And especially when it comes to love, and especially if you're feeling hesitant and you're coming at it from a place where you're like, I just don't feel, like I don't know if I can trust this. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can trust you. And you're contemplating on seeing how can I formulate the way that I feel? How do I actually feel? And I get that you're feeling a little thorny. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, I'm still that person that, just what I'm getting here is that, like, you're like, I am all the things that you love about me, right? That's what I'm getting. You're like, yeah, I am kind, I am compassionate, I am, you know what I mean, loving, and I am worth loving, and all that sort of thing. You're like, but I also have thorns, you know what I mean? And if you move too quickly, you're gonna get poked, basically. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever, like, worked with blackberry bushes, or with, like, rose bushes. There's even other types of thorny plants that basically, if you move slowly enough when you're working with these plants, you can kind of place your hands in the right area and move the plant, without it whipping it around. And you know what I mean? You're going to get a lot less scratches if you just move slowly when you're working with these plants, right? That's just like a little thing that I learned over the years. And so I think that's kind of part of what's going on here, is you're kind of like, you got to move slowly here. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to leap into this with you and just say, yes, let's go, give it a go. You know what I mean? And like I said, this could be somebody who you have, that's funny, because the Knight of Wands in reverse is coming out when I cut the deck, and I peeked earlier, and that's the card that I saw. So it's like, yeah, you don't want this to be like lustful and passionate and quick. See, 7 of Pentacles, right? You want to be patient and take your time and plant seeds and see if they grow, right? Which is really healthy and mature. You know what I mean? Honestly. This person could be coming in and speaking their truth about how they feel here. Right. Temperance. Totally. This is Sag energy, but this is also about patience. Okay. So that's really cool, because that's what the vibe that I'm getting from you, Gemini, is you're just like, I want this to be balanced. I want to take things slow. I want it to be healthy, right? You can communicate all of that. You know what I mean? You don't have to say, like, yes, I accept your offer, or no, I don't because I'm hesitant. You could communicate, like, that this is the way that you would feel comfortable with it, because that's kind of what it is. It's you're like, I'm not going to feel comfortable with this unless it is like this. Does that make sense? Which is great. Okay, 2 of Swords in reverse. Like I said, I don't feel like you're blocking this person. Like, I feel like you're receiving the message. That is so funny. My phone just went off. I just got a message. I'm sorry. That's really funny that right as I was saying that. So I feel like you're still receiving the message. You've got the Emperor card in reverse. I feel like you're not really trying to control the situation, but you want to see where it goes. Like, I think that's part of it, is you want it to develop organically. So it's part of why you're just trusting your intuition. Yeah, the Chariot, right? So to a certain extent, I feel like I said, Spirit is encouraging you to move forward, right? Spirit's encouraging you to move forward and to not get stuck, basically. You know what I mean? Is that you don't want to get stuck, and you don't want to, because, okay, this is funny. This is coming through as actually advice with the 2 of Swords in reverse and the Emperor in reverse. Spirit is almost encouraging you to not necessarily... to not get stuck in indecision, and also to not to try and be the one in power and in control, because that is an unhealthy power dynamic, especially if someone is coming forward and extending love, extending an olive branch, extending, it could be apology. I don't know what the situation is here. You'll know for yourself, but you're obviously hesitant for a reason, okay? And you could be hesitant because of your past, or you could be hesitant because of this person, all right? So there's plenty of reasons why, and they're all valid. You have a right to be cautious, and you have a right to take your time, right? But Spirit is saying, don't sit in this position of power for too long, because otherwise it becomes unfair, and it's actually kind of toxic, right? Because if you communicate that, at least you're communicating it. But if you hold on to that power and just be like, well, I'm just not going to respond, I still need time to think about it, but you don't really tell them that you need time to think about it, then that's not being very kind. And like I said, you'll know where you fit and what's appropriate here, because I'm not going to say like you should respond to your toxic ex and they deserve that response. It's like, no, you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? Right? Like this is your life. This is, you know what I mean, your situation. Sorry about that, y'all. I usually put my phone on do not disturb when I'm doing readings, but it's kind of like Spirit is encouraging you not to do that, and I don't necessarily think you are. I just think that you're hesitant, but that you might communicate this. But Spirit is telling you to move forward either way, right? So either move forward with saying, hey, I feel hesitant about this. I'm not really sure. I'd like to take things slow. That's moving forward, right? Or if you decide, like, you know what I mean? I just think that's where you're at right now, Or if you decide, no, you don't want to do it, there's too much hesitance and caution and you just don't feel right about it, that's moving forward also by at least, you know what I mean, making the decision. So whatever your decision is going to be, Spirit is just encouraging you to make one, right? But take your time. I mean, I do think that you are, but Spirit's saying, taking your time is not necessarily the same as like hiding from it. You know what I mean? Judgment. Yeah. See, I feel like this could be a reconciliation with another person. This is about you making decisions. This is about something being resurrected, right? Ace of Swords. Yeah. Speak your truth here. You're going to gain clarity on the situation because you are taking the time to figure out how you really feel, and vice versa. You know what I mean? Oh, that was actually the Page of Wands in reverse. I'm so sorry, y'all. It wasn't the Knight of Wands. It's the Knave in here, so I get them mixed up. But it's actually not, because the Knight is still the Knight in this deck, but the Knave is the Page. So that was actually the Page of Wands in reverse. So, yeah, I'm getting that, like, you don't want to necessarily, like, spark something new. You don't want to give a definitive answer. Like, I guess that was kind of the vibe that I'm getting anyway, but it's kind of like you don't want to say like, yes, let's do this, right? Like this specific thing. You're kind of like, I don't really know how I feel entirely yet, and that's okay, right? Like, you're like, that's okay. So that's good. I mean, speak your truth and gain that clarity, right? Yeah, that's so funny. Knight of Wands coming out again. So what I'm getting here is it's more like, I think that's what you're kind of cautious about, to be honest with you. It doesn't feel like your energy. It feels like what you're cautious about. That you're kind of like, you also might actually have a little bit of anger towards this person I'm getting. You might be biting your tongue. That's probably part of what you're doing while you're contemplating too, because you're like, then I would probably come in really fiery and give this person a piece of my mind, right? That's what I'm getting here. But you're trying to be stable. Six of Pentacles, right? You really do. I think you're trying to be balanced here. Yeah, you don't want to make a decision or make a move or say anything until you feel like clear about how you feel, because you may be feeling like a little triggered right now, or maybe not even triggered, but you may be feeling like a lot of things right now. That's what I'm getting. So it's not a bad thing to take a moment and figure out how you really feel. You know what I mean? Thank you so much, Spirit, for the divine messages and guidance. What should we do next? Should we go ahead and keep pulling from this deck? Spirit's saying to go ahead and change it up. Thank you. Let's go ahead and see if any messages come through this deck, and then we'll switch to Oracle cards. All right. Thank you so much, Spirit. Yeah, it's never easy communicating about these types of things or how you feel. Like I said, I feel like you've been contemplating and trying to stay balanced, and you want to be fair, but you don't want to, like, you know what I mean, give more than you're getting. And, I get it. It could be the past is hanging you up too, that there may have been some hurt in this situation in the past, and so you're just kind of like, I don't know how I feel about it, and that's okay. That's totally okay. That's legit, Wow, okay. The Emperor in reverse again. Wow, I really can't make this stuff up, you guys. Okay, so seriously, I think this is Spirit's advice to you. And also this may be like, okay, I'm getting two messages. Sorry, there's a little piece of card there. I'm getting two messages. First message is Spirit is saying to let go of control here. Okay. And also, I think you don't want to be controlled. I think that's part of this. You feel like Yeah, Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So that's, you know what I mean, determination to continue forward. And also, you know, this is the Wounded Warrior card, right? So you've been wounded in battle, and so you're defensive, right? Because I think when we're wounded, we're much more defensive of ourselves than when we're healed, right? Because we're vulnerable when we're wounded. So we're like, oh, it's even scarier because, you know what I mean? Like, imagine you have, you know what I mean? I don't know why I'm getting this, but imagine you have a broken leg, right? And somebody is trying to start a fight with you. It's like, if you have a broken leg, you're like, no, I'm not going to fight you. Fuck off, because I got a broken leg. You know what I mean? But if you're doing good and someone tries to challenge you, you're like, I might be able to beat this person's ass. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm sorry. It's a dumb example, but like, you get what I'm saying here, right? All right, thank you, Spirit. Any other messages? Yeah. Okay, yeah. 8 of Cups, okay? So, I mean, I do think it's very viable. It's a viable option for you to walk away from this. You've got 2 of Pentacles. I think you're struggling with the idea of this choice, right? I think you're struggling with both ideas. Because like I said, over here is the 10 of Cups, right? Like that's what started off your reading. And so in a way, it's a difficult decision because you're like, this could work out and work out really well. Or it could not. You know what I mean? I'm seeing here that you're liking that you're not in a position of being controlled, and that you're able to consider your options here. You're like, I could walk away if I want to. 4 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, you may have healed from this situation, or the situation may have been something you had to heal from, and so you're kind of like, do I want to do this again? It's possible that it could, you know, be something that causes me some pain again. Yeah, I'm getting, because it didn't work out in the past. Maybe because there was too much, wow, I literally am getting the funniest freaking terms right now. I'm sorry. But one of these people, one of y'all may have been little bit of a looky-loo, okay, with like wandering eyes is what I'm getting. There may have been a little bit too much passion for just 2 people. Like, that's kind of something that's possible here. I don't know. Ace of Wands in reverse. Yeah, I just think that there's some fear about starting something new here. Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, so okay, somebody might be a little bit too passionate for you. 4 of Swords coming out again. Yeah, it's just the Hermit card again at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so you may be dealing with a Virgo, but also like High Priestess, 10 of Pentacles, ooh, Knight of Pentacles in reverse, 10 of Swords in reverse, the World card in reverse. Okay. Hermit at the bottom of the deck. So you're gonna have to trust your intuition. I know, very annoying. We like to get answers. But I'm seeing here that what you're worried about, okay, is that this isn't gonna move slowly enough, right? That this is gonna either be unreliable or it's gonna move too quickly. That's what I'm getting here. You're worried about, okay, you're worried about getting not pushed, but I think you're more concerned about getting wrapped up into something that's like really serious, like really quickly, and you're kind of like, I don't know if I want that with you yet, or again, right? Because this could be a reconciliation. So like, can we take our time here? So you're worried that if you don't end this situation, that you will not be ending a cycle. You're associating this person with like past cycles, like maybe these were decisions from the past that you don't feel great about, or like certain patterns and relationship styles and stuff like that. So you're kind of like, if I continue this with this person, is it going to impact my personal karmic cycle, right? And like my journey and the way that things are changing for me, because I don't, you know what I mean? You're like, I really don't want to end up, holding myself back from change and from cycles, right? Like from a cycle ending, starting something new, right? So I feel like in a way you're kind of concerned about like the deeper spiritual implications of this relationship. And you don't want to sweep the past under the rug either. I'm getting, yeah, your intuition is almost telling you that you'll be doing a trade-off of some sort, where that on one hand you may get the the relationship, right? And like the to a certain extent, like financial security, or you may be getting, like I said, with this 10 of Cups, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like the thing, right? The relationship thing. So it's not just, you know, oh, we're going to date. It's like, we're going to be partners, right? Like we're going to, you know what I mean? Go in on things together financially. We're going to live together, all that sort of thing. So you're thinking to yourself, like, my intuition is telling me that that is very possible. That might be what this person's offering. That might be the potential. So like, I'm open to that, right? Like you're saying, but I'm concerned that I will be sacrificing these major changes that are happening in my life in order to have that and keep that relationship. Right? That's difficult. I see why you're having a hard time and you're like in hangman mode and you're contemplating here. I understand. Okay, let's go ahead and get out some love oracle cards for Gemini and see what's going on with them. Okay. Okay. Wow. Freedom. There's nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. Right. That's what I think you're enjoying about this situation here, and that's what I think you're afraid of giving up. I think you're afraid of giving up your freedom, Gemini, because with this Emperor card in reverse coming out twice, that's what I'm getting here, is you don't feel controlled. Yeah. Any other messages for Gemini? Okay. Friendship. Nurture the bonds of friendship within your relationship and your love life will dramatically improve. Okay, so this is good advice, I feel like, especially if you're not sure how you feel about this situation. Is some good advice is to just talk openly with this person and say, hey, like, I don't know if I feel comfortable moving forward with you on that level, but maybe we can talk, you know, at least like, you know, as friends, or we can, you know what I mean? We can have conversations, like civil conversations, and we can talk about how we feel, talk about where we see ourselves going, you know what I mean? And like build that kind of rapport with each other again, to just have casual, comfortable conversations about life and about yourself and how you feel. And you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be so like dramatic and intense. This is kind of saying like maybe you communicating your clarity and your truth and saying, hey, like, I'm not sure, you know what I mean? I'm open to it, but this is what I'm afraid of. Here's my caution, right? Is like, I don't want to repeat the same patterns of the past. You know what I mean? You can communicate this process that you're going through with this person. Like, that's not off the table necessarily. And I think that Spirit is trying to say that this person is obviously coming forward with love for you, right? And they're wanting to communicate, but I think that your fear and your concern is, you know, Spirit just doesn't want you to get stuck there. You can go through all that process, and that is how you feel. Not knowing how you feel, right? Not knowing which decision to make is in and of itself how you feel. Does that make sense? And so it's going to depend on a lot of things. And I think it could depend a lot on maybe having this conversation with this person, seeing what they have to say in response. You know what I mean? Because you never know. Like I said, I think these are concerns and not necessarily like the only outcome, right? And that's the beauty of life and humans, right? Is that we are ever changing. And so we may be like, I'm concerned this is going to, you know, end a cycle for me. But it's like, if you ignore how you feel, okay? If you ignore how you feel, then absolutely. If you move forward with something without communicating what you're afraid of, then I feel like that can potentially, you know what I mean, result in that. But I feel like if you were to communicate all of that openly from the beginning, you know what I mean, and somebody was like, you know what I mean, I feel the same way, and then you're setting intentions for the relationship. You're saying like, okay, we're going to avoid this type of, you know, pattern. You know what I mean? We're going to hold ourselves accountable. We're going to hold each other accountable. We're going to try and move forward together with our intention set of not repeating past cycles and for moving forward. Then that can change a lot, you know? And it's really just about, people putting in the effort and really caring about themselves and one another. And sometimes just incompatibility is real. And so you might get down the road and realize, okay, I don't think this is going to work. And then you just change course. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like every single decision that you make is life altering and there's no way of coming back from it. You know what I mean? You can explore, you can figure out if something is going to work or not. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. And you know what I mean? But it's like, sometimes we just get in really deep and detangling is really difficult. So I get the caution and I understand it. That's why, you know, from the beginning, I understand where you're coming from. I just think that having those conversations can help you at least move forward right, within yourself. So you can get more information from that person, see where they're at, and you can continue forward to say, okay, well, I don't really know, you know what I mean? And that in and of itself is moving forward, right? So then you'll get enough information to decide, or to just be friends until you feel how you feel, right? I mean, just, that's kind of what I'm getting here. So anyway, give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. Right, exactly. Spirit is trying to say that whether or not it's with this person or with somebody else, like, you deserve to have what your heart desires. And that's why I think this decision is difficult, because you do desire, you know, stability. You do desire partnership. That's why you're looking at this and considering it, right? Because if you didn't want that and you didn't see potential for that with this person, you wouldn't even consider it. You wouldn't even care. You know what I mean? Right? So you deserve to have what you desire. It just may or may not be with this person, and that's okay. So, you know what I mean? Spirit's just saying, like, have faith that that love will come to you. And you know what I mean, this whole like relinquishing control, realizing that nobody has control over you, and that this can be just like a conversation you can move forward with, at least, you know, knowing that this is what you've basically formulated for yourself, of what you want, what you don't want, how you feel, the areas where you're unsure, you know what I mean, and what you're afraid of, and what it is that you do want, like, you know what I mean? So I just think that that's, you know, that's beautiful, and this is how we make decisions, and it can be difficult, you know, but I feel like that contemplation and getting clarity is important. It's just Spirit is saying, just don't get stuck there, and be willing to be vulnerable, be willing to move forward, you know, whatever decision it is you make, right? So anyway, appreciate you guys. I'm going to end the reading there. Please do like, share, comment, or subscribe before you leave here. If you need a dream interpretation, my contact info is in the description box below, as well as my donation links if you would like to drop me a donation. It really means a lot, y'all. All your support really does fuel my fire. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye-bye.